Welcome to episode number 170 of the Effortless Swimming podcast. In this episode, I want to talk about making your swimming effortless. When you're swimming well, that's how it should feel. And I've been watching, there's some videos that Lionel Sanders, the professional triathlete, has put up on his swimming recently, which he's titled Stop Sucking at Swimming. And it's been really entertaining. And I'm going to do a YouTube video breaking this down. And he's basically he's trying to improve his swimming to be a front pack swimmer and not lose so much ground on his swim. It's been interesting hearing him talk about the things that he's going through and how he's had to change his mindset and approach to swimming. And the way he sort of explained it was that with his running and his biking, he can push harder and go faster, which is pretty standard. And I hear that all the time. The difference with swimming is it's so technique focused that you've really got to remove a lot of the tension that you've got because the body doesn't move well when it's tense. And so the dichotomy of it is often you have to sort of try less, you have to be more relaxed to go faster. And that can certainly be a different approach than what you may have taken in the past. And so what he's really sort of dealing with and starting to realize is that the more he relaxes and he just sort of gets into this flow of his stroke, the faster he swims. And there was he did a 1,000-yard time trial that the first one he did, he felt like he went out too hard and he blew up, and he was just sort of muscling his way through the first 800 yards of that time trial. And his time was like 11:57, I think it was. And then he was like, all right, I think I know what I did wrong. I'm going to go a little bit easier on the way out so I don't blow up in the beginning and have to get rid of this lactic acid. And he was aiming to just relax more. And he ended up going in 11:48, I think. So it was maybe 9 seconds quicker. And it was really good to see that, because it's like, yes, that is exactly what you have to do. You have to almost, not, try less in a way and just relax in order to swim faster. And there's a good sort of thing you can do in the pool that can just show you the difference here. So if you're doing a set of like repeat hundreds or even 200s, let's say you go 6 100s, do them all on the same pace with about 20 seconds rest, and do one of them where you are, I want you to go them all at sort of race pace. Do one of them where you are feeling like you're pulling hard and you're tense and you're gripping hard at the water and you're really trying to muscle your way through it. Then on the other ones, on the even ones, do it where you are relaxed, where you are, you're still putting in the same amount of effort, but you're just kind of cruisy with it. Your forearms might feel a little bit sort of softer, a bit more relaxed there, and you're just trying to just find this nice flow and this nice rhythm. See if there's a difference in speed for you, and see if there's a difference in energy that you've got left after each 100. So when we run clinics, we like to do these contrast drills where we do the wrong thing and then the right thing, and that builds up this awareness around what it should feel like when you're doing it right. And hopefully, and you'll see that difference in terms of your speed, and you'll notice it when you, in terms of how you feel. So by doing these wrong thing and right thing, experimenting that way can be a great way to sort of learn this stuff. And that's what we're seeing with Lionel Sanders. So I'm going to do this YouTube video. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel and you're listening to this podcast on Spotify or the Apple Podcast app, wherever it might be, go and have a look at our YouTube channel and subscribe. I'll be posting this video sometime in the next 2 weeks and sort of breaking it down. And next time you go to the pool, just see if you can see a difference there with when you try less. And sometimes I've had people come up to me about, it's called effortless swimming, right? And they're like, making a joke, oh, swimming's not effortless. It's like, well, yeah, it takes a lot of work to get to effortless, but when you've got good technique, you've got good timing, that's how it feels. So I've had often some of my best races have felt the easiest in a way, because those races where I haven't gone well, I've either tried too hard and my timing's kind of been out a little bit and I'm just muscling my way through it. But those races that have felt the best, it's a really good feeling, and it is somewhat effortless. Now, you've obviously got to put in effort and work for it, but it feels so much more effortless. So hopefully you can get that the nuance in what I'm trying to get across here. So that's what we want to aim for. And it's not going to happen every time. Look, there are swims, there's training sessions where you're like, this is just hard work and it's frustrating. And sometimes you can go into this downward spiral, and that's what we've seen. And he was able to sort of pick this up. That's what you see with Lionel Sanders in some of these videos. So if you can just allow yourself to relax more, it helps. And some of the ways that I've found good to be able to do that, if you know you're not going to have a great session, or if you're fatigued or whatever it might be, do a slightly longer warm up, and that can often just give you a bit more time to get into your groove. Do some warm up with fins on. So usually our standard sort of initial warm up is 600 to 800 fins choice, sometimes with some drills in there. Then we'll also do some stuff after that with some like kick, some drill, some scull, and then a little bit of speed work at the end of the warm up, just to get the blood pumping, but give yourself a long warm up and use fins in the beginning. And that can be a really good way just to have a better main set, because if you jump in, you do 200 meters and then you start your main set and you're going for it, you're probably not warmed up enough. And then you might just sort of feel that fatigue immediately through the lats and through the shoulders, and you can tend to seize up a little bit. So a longer warm up can be a good way to do it. The other thing I like to do with training sets to sort of make things, or to keep that effortless feeling as you get quicker, is I really like sets that progressively get quicker. Now, on the last episode, we were talking about being a 1-speed swimmer and how you can do some variable pace sets where you might do like 3/100s where it's easy, medium, fast. Now, what I'm talking about with these sets is I like sets that sort of, they crescendo. You start out fairly comfortable and they slowly get quicker and then quicker and quicker. And the last part of the set is the one where you're really going for it. So it might be like a 1,500 meter or 2 kilometer main set that starts out pretty comfortable but finishes fast. It's like the typical, the standard 10-400 set that you might have heard a lot of swimmers and clubs doing. So it's 10-400s where you basically go like 4 at 70%, 3 at 75%, you go 2 at 80%, and then 1 at 85%. So this gradual build, and those kinds of sets that go that way can just allow you to, after 1.5, 2Ks, or even 4Ks in that example, you can really feel good and feel effortless, even when you've pushed yourself to the limit at the very end of it. So they can be good ways to do it. Now, instead of going like really, really hard at the start of a set and then blowing up and just getting frustrated. So that's what we want to sort of avoid. So there are a couple of different ways that you can get that effortless feeling in your stroke. Now, if you know, or if there's no such thing as effortless for you at the moment, get your technique looked at, whether that's from me, whether that's from another coach, or whether you just get a friend of yours to film you with your phone at the pool. And if you've seen our Feedback Friday videos and those sorts of things, you should have a pretty good idea of those things that you need to work on. So just get your technique sorted, know what it is you need to work on, start improving that, and that's when that effortless feeling can really come. And the other thing you sort of need to do there as well is make sure you're in the pool regularly enough. If you're training once a week, you're probably not going to be in there enough to keep or develop that feel for the water. So consistency is key. I like to try and do 3 sessions a week. I like my swimmers to try and do at least 3 sessions a week. But if you can only do 2, that's fine. But 3 is a good number to try and hit each week if you're not doing more than that. So a couple of ways for you to become more effortless in your stroke. So thanks for listening to this podcast. And if you are listening on the iTunes app, please give us a rating if you do enjoy it. Helps us be seen to more people. We'll be back next week with another episode. Next week's episode is with a friend of mine who has just recently swum the length of Lake Taupo in New Zealand, which is 40 kilometers. So we're going to look at what he did to train for that swim, how he went mentally with it, and the preparation and what was involved. So looking forward to that episode next week, and I'll see you then.